Good morning, just about. Welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. My name's Simon. I do a daily Bitcoin price action analysis. Happy Thursday to you. It is indeed Thursday today, and the current weekly candle is looking jolly good. I'll explain all this stuff on here in a moment, but before I do that and jump into the price action analysis, I'll just remind you all that I'm not a financial advisor, so this definitely isn't financial advice. Okay, so we've got two so far bullish candles following this range break. However, this week has yet to be closed and confirmed. So, what's going to happen? I don't know. But the price action tells you everything. So, I'll explain these lines in a moment. When, spoiler alert, this red line could be significant. The W stands for the weekly support, which is in the exact same place it's been for a couple of weeks. The D obviously stands for daily support. These are all support lines at the moment, more or less, because the price is going up. So the support lines are useful when the price is going up. And then the 4 hour is, that's the weekly, that's the daily, that's the 4 hour support. And then this 1/15 is the hourly or the 15 minute support line of randomness. The good news is you can see them all pretty much on one screen when you zoom down to the 15-minute time frame. So you go weekly all the way back down here, 44,000, daily here, 38.4. Some people might put it there, but I just wanted to segregate it out nicely like this. 50,000 is where my 4 hour line of random support comes in. And then you got the 1 and the 15 coming in around 51.1. I'm going to zoom in to more recent times now because, this is historical data. So once I've put the lines in, I don't need to see the price then that led to those lines of randomness, because that's why you draw the lines. All right. Now, this top section is clearly a range. So I got this as my 1 hour/15 minute time frame range. And I was following this impulsive move up here, pulled back to the line of randomness, got up to the mid-range, pulled back, retested, broke through the mid-range with an impulsive move up, retested, and it stabbed once and looks like twice at the current range high, which is coming in around 52.5, give or take, right? They're not absolute numbers and shouldn't be thought of as such. So we'll see what happens, but that's a sort of 1, 2, 3 goes at breaking through the top line of resistance. I feel like range play is probably the topic of the remainder of the week, and you can see I've got it in a bit of an ascending channel here. I do wonder if the reciprocal may occur for the rest of the week into the weekend. However, closures above this 52.6 area, 52.5, 52.6, particularly on a 4 hour, but more, even on an hourly, probably would signify more upside. And that's when that red line, that delicious looking red line, comes into the game. And, not all in one candle, but that to me looks like the next area of solid resistance for a higher time frame closure, i.e. weekly or daily, probably with some lower time frame stoppages around 55,000 roughly, give or take. But that's not really pertinent to talk about at the moment because we haven't broken through the current resistance. So if I zoom back down, we can have a look at that in a bit more detail. Now, What does momentum have to add to the party? Well, as you can see in what I have drawn as an ascending channel within this overall range, momentum has been declining, and momentum will continue to decline until it gets back above this high, which corresponded to really the range high at the moment as well. So if the RSI can get back above, call it 75, then, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't coincide with a range break. But until then, this is declining momentum on a background of ascending or, higher highs and lows, borderline on the higher highs at the moment. And therefore that is divergence with declining momentum. So that's bearish on the lower time frames. And it's bearish until you get a clear break of this higher time current line of randomness that represents resistance to price action. Closures, and then maybe a range play. So maybe a retest around 51.2, give or take, even a bit below there, 51,000. Higher time frame closures, so 4-hour closures back below 51,000. And you've got to be looking for a retest of 50,000 pretty much. A little bit of flexibility on that one. So that'll be interesting to see if that happens. I have played the short-term time frame game a little bit. I shorted this move, and then I go to bed quite early, so I was in bed at this point, and I've had a bit of a busy morning, so I haven't been able to do much up until recording this video. But you can do, or I feel able to short an otherwise strong uptrend. But the key is you've got to have realistic take profit goals, which is why it's useful having some logical, albeit random lines, because I've put them on and they're logical to me. They might not be logical to someone else, and the price action doesn't care. So yes, when you do a counter trend trade, you've got to have a tight stop loss, or I have to have a tight stop loss, and you generally speaking, you want to take profits. I would like to take profits sooner rather than later. But that one did work, and I haven't really done anything else since. So there we go. We'll have a quick look at the weekly momentum, because I don't know if you remember, I think it was at the end of last week, or it might have been just prior to that. I was looking at the RSI thinking, probably is another move in this. But if it doesn't get back above the previous high, which is coming in around 83, then you'd have some weekly regular bearish divergence, which, could be significant for a more bearish pullback. It's getting close to there at the moment, but it's not quite there. So there's still potential for bearish divergence on the weekly, but potential is different to absolute, and so do have to remember that. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. So the take-home message is strong uptrend. If you're wise, the trend is your friend, and therefore you don't trade against it. If you're crazy, please go ahead and do so. And at the moment, there's what I can see a range with pretty good going resistance up around 52.5, 52.6, and the current support, and this is more on the lower time frames, is at 51.200. So I'm expecting range play, but I'll be wrong, with higher time frame closures above 52.6, call it. All right, take it easy. Have a thrilling Thursday, and I'll catch you tomorrow.